I've had my Audi RS7 for about 1.5 years now, and I'm just going to be taking you through all the mods that I've done to this car. So disclaimer, I haven't done the traditional route that every YouTuber would do, where they get a car, they put a massive exhaust mod on it from Army Checks or whoever sponsors their videos, and then remaps their car to 1,000 horsepower and then add crazy amounts of splitters and diffusers to their car. I haven't done that. I like keeping everything OEM, maybe OEM plus per se. That's how I've kept the car and that's how I want the car. So in case that doesn't appeal to you, I'm sorry, this video isn't for you. This video is more so for anyone who's thinking about subtle mods that they want to add to their car and they want to get a bit of inspiration for that. And so that's what I'm going to do. I have done one mod that isn't per se subtle, so if anyone is looking for non-subtle mods, stick around and I'll get round to what mod that is. Cough cough exhaust mod. But for the most part, a lot of the mods that I have done are very subtle, and I think just add that finishing touch to the car that maybe Audi themselves hadn't done. So without further ado, let's just get on with it and I'll show you exactly what I've done. So the first mod, anyone with an Audi knows about sweeping indicators, and this car comes with front and back. If I go back, there we are, and back sweeping indicators as standard. This is, well, not as standard, sorry. I think the rears are standard, but the fronts are an optional extra, if I believe so. But basically, this car comes with both. One thing it didn't come with were these. So these are sweeping indicators for the wing mirror. These cost about £10 on AliExpress or 20 if you go on eBay, Amazon. Very easy to fit. All you need to do is remove the glass. Be careful with how you remove this. I would recommend just using plastic trim removal tools. But once you get that glass removed, it's a few screws, then you can remove this silver base, this silver cover, sorry, and then once you've removed that, you can remove the LED strip and replace it with the new ones that you've purchased. But I think this finishes the car very well. Since the front and rears are dynamic, it only makes sense for the wing mirrors to also be dynamic, and if you notice, everything sweeps together, so when that finishes, that also finishes, and there's no weird kind of timing issues or anything like that. I really love this mod. I think it finishes the car very well, and I think it should have been like this from factory, if I'm being perfectly honest. So the second mod is something that a lot of people do, and it is, well, let's see if you can even see it. Yeah, you can't. Well, here comes the Crocs, I'm sure. Let's see if you can see it through the Crocs, kind of. Yeah. Oh, you can kind of see it, to be fair, but it is dual projection lights that say RS7 on it. Might be cringe to some, but I have illuminated door sills that say RS7. Oh, don't know if you can see that. There we are, RS7. And to be honest, to me, it's like, well, it's matching, right? I mean, everyone needs to know what they're stepping into at the end of the day, and it only makes sense if I've got illuminated door sills. In case you miss those illuminated door sills, the puddle lights tell you and let you know what you're stepping into. These work very well. I think you can get more powerful ones, but they cost so much that to me it's like, what's the point? I might as well just, these cost I think £10 on AliExpress versus the expensive ones cost like 70 quid, and I mean, no one really notices during the day anyway. Most people, I mean, you can see it clearly during the night, and I think that's what matters. I post pictures now of what it looks like at night, but it's very bright at night. It's just during the day, I think most door projectors you won't be able to see anyway. So yeah, that's my second mod. Very cheap to do, very easy to do, and I think most people do that one, so that's what I did as well. Okay, so the third mod that I've done is, if I just remove maps so that no one can stalk me. So the third mod is Android Auto. So this car doesn't actually come with Android Auto as standard. I think they started introducing it as standard like in the middle of 2016, 2017, but this one didn't have it. However, the dealer that actually sold me this car was very knowledgeable on RS7s. He actually had one in the past, and he basically said I should be able to retrofit it and I could potentially do it DIY without paying anyone. Went on YouTube, found a video. I'll link it actually below because it's a really good video. He goes through everything meticulously. and I really didn't have to research anything else other than his video. Hopefully it'll be helpful for anyone who's has an RS7, RS6 and is in a similar situation who wants Android Auto but doesn't want to pay anyone to do it. Very easy to do. All you need to do is load the files onto an SD card, put the SD card into either one of those two slots, SD1, SD2, and then turn your car on, upgrade your software. Just make sure you don't turn your car off, because then you can brick the firmware and you end up in a bigger situation than you are. You can connect your car to an external battery, charger, etc. But I didn't have that at hand at the time, so I just left the car running, maybe spent about £10 of fuel if I was lucky. But at the end of the day, £10 versus, I think these guys charge £150, £200 to do it remotely. I would rather, and you still have to do that anyway, you still have to keep the car on. So at the end of the day, if you can do it for free, why not do it for free? Just make sure that the software version is compatible with the firmware upgrade. But in that video, he goes through everything. So as long as your software versions match, it should be fine. But back to the main point, Android Auto, I love it. It's amazing. It allows you to play songs, allows you to go on Waze, maps, anything you like. Very easy to do. All you do is use the swivel wheel and these buttons to navigate the software. And there you are. I mean, I love this because I don't have to use Audi's dreaded maps that are old and not updated. Instead, I can ignore that. I can use Google Maps, and it's amazing. And whilst I'm here, I might as well take you through my next mod, which is an exhaust mod. So, actually first, let me show you. So this car came with a standard exhaust. I took it to a chap called Paul, or better known as PCW Mods, spent some money with him, and he did his magic. This car comes with 2 front resonators, a center resonator, and 2 back boxes. So what Paul does is he removes the sound deadening material from within the reses and the back boxes, and it essentially makes it into a straight pipe, whilst it doesn't look like a straight pipe from below. So it has its benefits, and it honestly changes the car drastically. Some people might say it's too ASBO, but I think it sounds amazing. And in my opinion, I think this is what it should have sounded like from factory. It's amazing in comfort. You don't hear anything in comfort, no exhaust drone, none of that. The valves work as they should. So in comfort, it's amazing, quiet. In dynamic or individual, how you have it set up, it's a different animal. It's much louder than stock, and I'm hoping that this comes through on video. I'm not entirely sure how it'll come through. This is probably one of my favorite mods I've done to this car. I think initially for me, when I got this car, deep down I was a bit upset with how it sounded. I feel like this car drove so fast and it had so much power and drove amazing, but the sound experience just didn't add anything to the entire driving experience. And that's something that as a kid, I mean, if anyone watches Top Gear or anything like that, that's something that you always want and you love when you're driving a car. It's the drivability, but it's also the sound that builds on top of that experience. And I guess with modern day cars, with things like OPFs, that's even getting much, much worse. But for this doesn't have an OPF. So it always baffled me why it sounded so quiet. I mean, it makes sense as an RS7. I guess they want it to be somewhat refined, but I like a bit more ASBO, not too much, don't get me wrong, I don't want it to be overly obnoxious, but at the same time I do want to hear the V8 if I put it in dynamic. And in the past I had to drive pretty hard to hear the V8. Now I can coast, I can drive about 40 miles an hour, downshift, and the pops, I forgot to talk about the pops on this car when you downshift is crazy. I mean, it did so before, but it wasn't as loud as this. And it's, don't get me wrong, it's not that annoying pop pop bang bang that every Tom, Dick and Harry has running in their Ford Fiesta. This is the perfect amount of pops. you know, a couple as you come down, a couple similar to an F-Type, for example. It's very OEM, but it sounds amazing, and for me amplified the driving experience, and honestly I love it. This car I could keep just because of the exhaust mod. It's one of the best things I've done to this car. I was hesitant at first, but yeah, I love it. So one of the last things I've done on this car is enabling features through coding. So I use Carista, but you can use OBD11, you can use VACCOM, whatever tools you want to use, you can use, and you can unlock certain features. I'm sure anyone who has a VW, BMW, Audi, Mercedes knows about this already, but you can unlock certain features such as memory state for the auto stop start, which is perfect and amazing, and everyone should do this because everyone hates stop start and it's annoying and obtrusive. And so every time I start the car, it remembers the previous state, which is always going to be off, so it just turns it off. Moving on. Other features such as acoustic sounds when you unlock and lock the car, how long you wanted the heated seats to turn on for, a load of various other options that you can do through these apps. Simple as just getting OBD. I'm sure every other YouTuber has already talked about this, but you know, you just get an OBD reader, plug it in, connect it to your phone, and then you can do whatever you want as long as you pay for the subscription. But yeah, that's it. I mean, that's all the mods that I've done on this car. I really want to do videos in this car, but I'm trying to understand exactly what people want to watch and people want to see. So let me know if you want to see something particular about this car, whether it be how much it costs to maintain, run, because surprisingly it's not as bad as you think, and I don't mind going through exactly all the details of what that costs and what that looks like. Whether it be even a POV drive, I can mount this camera somewhere around here and take you along on a drive just so that you can understand how it feels, how it sounds, what the 0 to 60 is like, all that stuff. Or if you want me to even do a mod, I mean, as long as it's a mod that I want to do and you guys suggest it, I might think about it and do it. So if you do have any ideas, just drop them down in the comments. And if you have any questions, you know, if you have an RS6, RS7 and you have any questions about anything that you want answered, feel free to comment below and I'll try my best to answer them. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.